Thinking about getting an Anti-Tragus, a Tragus, or a Snug, but you don't know what type of jewelry you should put in it to pierce it? We're going to cover that next on The Right Jewelry to Pierce With, episode number 2. For those who are new to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you're finding them helpful and useful and everything else. But you might not know who this guy is in this bright green, construction green t-shirt. Descendants, great band. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and I operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, located right here in currently sunny Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. So in this series that I just started today, we're going to go through some basic things that you should know when picking out jewelry or being taken through the process of picking out jewelry for a fresh piercing. The first thing is always material. And I generally cover this in the first part of each video, or plan on doing it in the beginning of each video, starting with what the best materials are, and then we'll move on to the styles that are going to work best in each piercing. Now, material-wise, your best option, in my opinion, is always going to be certified biocompatible implant-grade titanium alloy. Second would be nickel-free, 14 karat or better, usually 18 karat being the max, solid gold. Next up on the list would be niobium. It needs to be pure niobium. It needs to be implant grade, certified. Then we move on to the only option I would say is kind of on that maybe not thing, but in my opinion has had a good success rate, and that is 24 karat PVD coated implant grade titanium alloy. Next on this will be Pyrex or glass or borosilicate, I think is how it's pronounced. Basically, it's a hard glass jewelry. And then last on the list would be number 6, certified implant grade surgical stainless steel. Now let's move on to materials that I do not suggest putting in a fresh piercing, starting with electroplated jewelry of any kind, especially if it says hyperallergenic on it. 12 karat gold or less jewelry, either filled or solid, is not a good option for a fresh piercing. Silver jewelry. I don't know how many times I've had clients come in and say I can only wear silver jewelry. It is not a good option during the healing process, and in a lot of cases, I don't even suggest putting it in healed piercings. Silver jewelry is not good. And now the one that'll flood the comments section. Bioplastic, acrylic plastic, or any plastic product. We have no idea what a majority of this stuff is actually made out of, if it's toxic or not, if it's biocompatible or not. There is no information. There is no third parties testing it. It is not the best option for a fresh piercing. Often, it's my experience with this jewelry, it's really cheaply made with rough edges and all kinds of other problems. Not the best thing for a fresh piercing, and in my opinion, even a healed one. And lastly, silicone. Silicone jewelry, it's okay in healed piercings, but during the healing process, silicone can sometimes bond to that healing tissue, and then you go to remove it, and you end up taking out a layer of tissue with it. So let's move on to the piercings themselves. Anti-Tragus. Anti-Tragus, for those who don't know, is a piercing that is done through the anti-tragus section of the ear. It's right at the top of your lobe. Now, this can vary greatly in shape, in angle, and etc., and will require your piercer to make a decision on which is going to work best. Curved jewelry or straight jewelry. If it's going to be straight jewelry, your best options are, in my opinion, a threadless or threaded flat back labret stud or labret, whatever you want to argue it's called, and a small end on the front. It'll be oversized to allow for swelling also. The second one on straight jewelry would be a micro barbell, something that is very short, usually about 3/8 of an inch or shorter. that with very tiny balls on it, mainly because we want to eliminate this rocking back and forth effect that larger barbells with large balls on it could cause. For curved jewelry, curved barbells are your best bet. There should be a quarter-turn curved barbell. Size should be dictated by how thick the tissue is going to be and what angle the piercing is going to be done at. Once again, I would suggest going with something that has small balls on it. Threaded or threadless, both options will work well in a healing piercing, and a Tragus healing piercing. Now let's talk about the good old-fashioned Tragus, that nub on the front of your ear. Tragus piercing should be done with a stud-style piece of jewelry. There should not be done with rings, curved barbells, or anything that's circular or curved. It should be a straight. And in my opinion, regardless of what your lifestyle is, the one that's going to impact you the least is a flat back labrae stud. And then either in threadless or threaded, either or is fine. Personally, I like threadless just basically because it's easier to take in and out. Will be oversized, but eventually once it's gone through that initial swelling period and downsize, you're going to find that disc just sets right up against the back of your ear, which makes the possibility of wearing earbuds and etc. a little bit easier or possible. Just like with the Anti-Tragus, it is possible to wear micro barbells in these too. That's a possibility, but they tend to stick out a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of them, but yeah, you can do that. Now, the last on the list until the next video, the Snug. Snug is up here in this upper area right here, usually a little from just above the lobe all the way up into where you get into helix piercings. This one can be a pain to heal. There's no way around it. So we want something with a low profile, but it doesn't need to be curved so that it's anchored properly. With this, I only suggest curved barbells initially to heal with. It should be a little bit oversized, not as oversized as the one that's in the picture, but it should be oversized. Once it heals, downsizing a shorter one will help reduce the possibility of rejection or other problems. But during the healing process, this thing will swell quite often. Now let's talk about downsizing and post-healing jewelry. Post-jewelry, or with any type of barbell or post-jewelry, it is best to downsize within 4 to 6 weeks or until the swelling has completely gone down. Snugs, it might be a little bit longer than the Anti-Tragus or the Tragus, just basically because they tend to stay grumpier a lot longer and have a lot more contact with stuff. But I generally suggest within that 4 to 6 week period is your best option. Do have it done professionally unless you have all the proper tools at home. As far as different styles of jewelry you can wear in it after it heals, you want to wait a minimum of 6 months to a year before you change out to anything else. But out of these three, the only one that can really, I have seen people wear rings in both Anti-Tragus in Snug piercings, but I would really wait an extremely long time, 2-3 years, to the point where it's so seasoned and such a part of you, you don't have to worry about it before I would suggest putting a ring in either of those. Now, Tragus, usually 6 to 12 weeks or 12 months, wouldn't be an issue if it's fully seasoned and healed and et cetera, to switch out to a ring possibly. The longer you wait, the better off it's going to be. Well, that's everything I have to say on this subject today. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I hope to see you for your piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.